Figure 4 Radio.
Lock it in.
Lock it in.
Lock it in. Lock it in.
Lock it in. Figure 4 Radio.
Hello everyone, welcome to Figure 4 Radio. It's the Mastermind Ollie Spring. Today joined by Warren Banks.
What up?
How you doing, buddy?
I'm good, man. Yourself?
Cool, yeah, not too bad. You were at Hope last night.
I was.
Very interesting show from what I gather. I had Liam Morley on the show last week talking about the the situation, should we call it, with Harvey?
Yeah. Situation is a word you can use, yeah.
It is a word. How was it for you? How was your match? Who did you have?
I faced Chris Tyler.
Oh, shit. Oh, of course, yeah.
But there was a wrinkle in that Hustle Malone could not make the show. So Mayor Jordan was left without a match, and he decided to gate crash ours.
Oh, cool.
So he danced his way into the ring, asked for us to make a three-way dance, and we did.
Cool.
So I picked up the win. I pinned Mayor Jordan.
Nice.
Which means I now get to pick the stipulation for me versus Kip versus Tyler. Get to choose when and where it happens. And what will happen. I'm going to keep that to myself for now.
Of course. Do you know?
I mean, I've got some ideas. Yeah. You know, I've been getting quotes on various things. I was thinking of a Krispy Kreme death match.
Oh man, that would be delicious.
A steel chair covered in glaze.
I feel that sort of match. I don't know much about Sugar Dunkerton as a guy, but
I might consult him.
Gonna say that sounds like something he should be involved in.
I might consult him.
Yeah,
but I'll think of some stuff in time. But yeah, talking about Harvey and Liam.
Yeah, I watched it on Facebook Live. Obviously, the match was, you know, a guy whose life is upside down right now.
Yeah.
Who's not actually a wrestler versus a wrestler. So I don't think we were expecting a technical masterpiece.
No.
What was it? How was it? I'm guessing you watched it. I'm guessing everybody watched it. Yeah. How was it live? Like, what was the atmosphere like?
Crowd were very into it. I feel as though a lot of people have had their opinion on blending personal with what we do. Obviously,
I'm still not sure where
you stand on that.
Yeah, because obviously we know what Harvey's gone through, and I know his life's been up and down. He could have just stepped away.
Yeah,
but I guess Harvey being Harvey, wanting to do it, he didn't want to. He won't go quietly into the night. He will go out kicking and screaming.
The thing about him was, even when he was backstage, despite everything he's been through, he was still Harvey. He was still cracking jokes, still had stories to tell. He was trying to let the show flow naturally, but there were a few times he piped up and I was like, there's the old Harvey, there's the old promoter that we all know.
Almost like there's still kind of there's still life in the old dog. Yeah,
definitely. He's not done by a long shot, but last night I feel as though it was a good send-off, because people do care about the guy with good reason. He's put on great shows, he's given a lot of us opportunities, me especially. He's been very good to me, and I can't thank him enough for that. But the actual match itself, there was some thumbtack shenanigans.
I saw something emptied out, and I was like, obviously it's not really a HD stream, and you can't really see stuff, and I'm thinking about that looked like thumbtack. So he actually took a...
Oh, he did.
Jesus.
More than once.
Wow.
More than once. They ripped up, they moved part of the canvas so the boards were exposed.
I was watching that thinking to myself, not like, oh my god, he's going to slam him onto the canvas, but holy shit, Liam's just bought this ring and now they're tearing him. As
they were lifting it, I was looking over at Pilco and I could just see the cringe.
Yeah, I don't know what that says about me as a wrestling fan watching, thinking to myself, man, he's just bought a ring and now he's throwing bits into the crowd.
Do you watch superhero movies and worry about the collateral damage?
Sometimes, I really do. I think that's why... what film was I was watching the... it was like a highlights clip from... Pacific Rim. And I remembered how in Pacific Rim they had one of the big fights in a shipyard, so not a lot was getting destroyed. I think I'm going to struggle with the new one when it
just looks like utter destruction.
And I'm not quite sure how well that's going to sit with me. I'm going to be freaking out in an OCD panic attack in there.
No, the insurance.
That's it.
The premiums are
just how long is it going to take to clean up?
The construction.
The construction costs will be through the roof. But I was watching thinking damn, Liam's just bought this ring and it's a brand new ring, brand new mat, and he's just chucking bits of the padding away, and I don't know why I thought that's the most backwards way, but so for you, so you obviously work for Hope a lot more than I do. I mean, nobody knew what was going to happen, right? So I'm guessing up until that 1, 2, 3, no one really knew who their boss was going to be.
Yeah.
Was that unsettling for you as a performer, like not really know, because that's the person that gives you your dates, that gives you your booking money, gives you your storylines. Like it's an important role to see playing out.
Yeah.
Was it? How was that for you? As watching your boss?
It was
kind of be decided.
If I'm being honest, I would have liked Dale to stay. To stay. That's me being selfish because obviously I know he's going through a lot and he does need time away.
Of course.
And there are some people who look at it from purely business standpoint as well, and they would say better the devil you know than the devil you don't.
True.
So Dale's got a fantastic relationship with everybody he works with.
Yeah.
Liam is more of an unknown quantity.
I can see. Yeah, I can understand that. Yeah.
So there are some guys who may be comfortable, who may have the dates in the diary, but then in a few shows' time, they may not get those dates because Mr. Morley's vision doesn't match up with what they want.
That's true.
I mean, I would rather Dale stay, but I have all the faith that Liam will do what's best for Hope.
Yeah.
Nudge, nudge, Book Warren. Nudge, nudge. You know, you need abs on the show, Liam. If you listen to this, you need abs on the show. Book me. But yeah,
that's where I'm going wrong.
Yeah,
man.
Get a bodysuit. But yeah, that's definitely sort of where I stood. I would have liked Dale to stay, but I'm not worried about Liam as of yet.
Yeah.
As of yet. He hasn't gone full Nero and started burning stuff down, so I think we're alright.
Well, he did start tearing his own ring up.
Yeah, to be fair. I mean, it's been 24 hours and nothing, well, besides the ring destruction, crazy has happened?
Although I think on the Hope page, Magic Mark has been suspended and last night's referee has been promoted. So
I take back what I said.
Yeah, maybe he's getting he's getting a bit power hungry. But I mean, well, you know, he got his first win, I guess, in
that's
Hope.
True, actually,
so I think that's been completely overlooked. But still, fun times in the world of Hope. So anyway, Warren Banks, let's talk about you, man, because this is we're not here to talk about everybody else. How long have you been wrestling for?
I have been wrestling for a cumulative total of around 2.5 years.
Okay, so cumulative being with how big a gap in between some of those years?
2.5 years.
Okay, so funny story that I'll tell from him. So my commentary partner at Sacrifice, TJ Lee, was over, and I was just showing him some videos of like, this is how it was when I started. This was the quality of the promo videos. Yeah. This was how the commentary sounded.
The British scene was in a very different place back then.
The Milton Keynes scene was in a very different place as well. And yeah, we were looking through the old TAW archives on YouTube, and I was like, let's just play a bunch of these random videos. And I put one on, and it was I still can't remember the name of the group.
I'm not going to hold the name of the group. We had this conversation, didn't we? And we couldn't remember.
Yeah. So Ace Andrews, and Showcase, and Jay West, and
Viper, I want to say.
Viper was possibly in there. It was the... Wasn't the Liberation? Revolution? No?
I think it was Revolution.
Was it the Revolution?
I want to say the Revolution.
Something like that.
Yeah.
And then I put on this video just to show like what the quality of the stuff was. And you were in the background. I was like, holy shit, there's Warren Banks. What the fuck is he doing there? And I looked at the time of when it was taken, and I think I came in just as you left back in 4 years ago now. I think it would have been.
Yeah, 4 years ago.
So I went to my very first TAW show on, I think 4 years ago, on Thursday week just gone, I think it was.
So you would have went in late March, early.
That's it. It was the March. It was the March show in Milton Keynes. Was my very first. That might have even been my very first indie show that wasn't a TNA Wembley show.
Okay.
And I'm guessing that was potentially one of your first shows that you weren't on.
Yes, it was.
Yeah,
there was one in between, and then there was that one. Yeah.
Which is crazy to think that I missed your kind of first kind of run by literally a matter of weeks. So how was it? How's it been like for you getting involved? Because that was obviously a while ago now. So
yes, it was. Yeah.
So what year would you have started?
I began training in 2012, around 2012.
Yeah. So I mean, in theory, that's kind of like 6 years ago that you started. You started training 6 years ago. So you say 2.5 years, but
2.5 years in terms of, I started training in September 2012. I then had to take a long break because I went to law school. That's a random fact. Warren Banks went to law school.
Wow. Did you pass and clear?
Yeah.
Oh, cool, man. I had no idea.
Got called to the bar, yeah.
Nice, yeah, you are the bar.
Yeah, that's it. So I do have a law background. I was called to the bar. I could be in an office, but I'd rather kick people, so, you know.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I took a long break to study. I came back for around 6 or 7 months, and then I was kicked in the teeth.
I've heard something, I think... Yeah. When I kind of came back in, and I think it was my first match, I saw you in Milton Keynes, and I was like, oh, okay, this guy's new. He's like, oh yeah, he's the guy that had his jaw broke or whatever it was by. So what's the story behind that? Because I've only heard the very basics.
Quick bit of background. I had basically my jaw didn't grow properly.
Okay.
So I was getting treatment to fix that, and part of that included braces and so on to position the teeth. I continued to wrestle like an idiot and didn't wear a gum shield. I stood up as someone was going for a drop kick, and they kicked me in the bottom teeth. So my front 4 teeth just got knocked back inside my mouth.
Jesus. Do you want to say who that is?
Who did it?
Yeah.
Nah, no? I'll leave it.
Okay.
I'm not gonna do that.
Am I like to know who it was?
I'll tell you after.
Okay.
I'll tell you after. But he's a lovely bloke anyway. Very safe work. He's never hurt anyone else. So it was a freak accident.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, I got kicked in the teeth. All 4 went backwards. I went to hospital and I had to push them back in place.
And was this actually on a show?
Yes, it was on a show.
This wasn't like just training.
Oh, no. It was on a show. I got kicked in the teeth and then had to finish what we were doing.
Jeez.
Went to hospital. They put them back where they were. And I was told that if I continued to wrestle and I got hurt again, they would stop my treatment because essentially I wasn't looking after them.
Yeah.
Which is fair enough.
Yes. Yeah.
So I decided to wait until I'd had the surgery and the braces were off. But because of being kicked in the teeth, the surgery was delayed by a year.
Wow.
So it meant I spent a whole year waiting to see whether or not my teeth would die, which they didn't, thankfully.
Yeah. That must have been horrible,
it sucked.
Just waiting.
I felt like my life was on hold.
Yeah.
The whole time. But then when I got the surgery date, I got back in the gym and put on some size. And then the braces came off on a Wednesday morning and I went to training on a Wednesday evening.
Good man.
So,
straight in.
And I haven't looked back.
Cool. So I'm guessing then that wrestling has always been quite an important thing then.
Definitely.
So literally the second you were, you literally went straight away, you had no hesitation, straight back to training. That's cool. I always like asking how people discovered wrestling. So like, because my favourite story is, it's not like if I ask you your favourite wrestler, it's going to be one of potentially 10 names on a list. Everyone. Whereas if I ask you the first matches that you ever remember seeing, there's always some different names thrown up and different people that had an impression on you. So can you remember when you kind of first was shown wrestling for the first time?
I remember my friends had VHSs of the WWF stuff.
Yeah, good old VHS.
Yeah, and it was around the time Mick Foley and The Rock. I think it's Cactus Jack. Was he Cactus Jack at that time? Was it?
It was
Mankind.
He kind of bounced around.
I think it was Mankind and The Rock during that whole feud, and it was the unprotected chair shots to the head.
Yes, Royal Rumble 99.
I want to say
possibly. Yeah, but
I was just captivated by it all. I was like, wow. And then WCW started being on UK TV as well. I think it was on Channel 5 in the evening. It was on Friday. So I started watching that. We finally got Sky, so I had Sky Sports, so I could watch things as well. Then obviously I've gone back and watched older stuff and then keep up with some new stuff. But The Rock and Mankind and that match. That was the one that stood out. Yeah, I mean that was a solid match, and I think so. If I remember rightly, he was only meant to take 3 chair shots, and he just kept going, just hit me more, just keep it going. It was crazy. It was one of the craziest things I've seen. Yeah. Have you seen the Beyond the Mat documentary? I think I did. Because it shows you, because Mick Foley's wife and kids, they get up and leave, were front row, and they couldn't stack like carry on watching it, and it was only after Mick Foley saw the footage from that documentary that he was like, yeah, I need to wind it. I need to scale this back a bit because in fact, I think I've got the DVD down there somewhere possibly. But that was a rather interesting match. But I almost hate the payoff, the fact that it was a voice recording of him saying I quit. Yeah. That kind of felt like a bit of a slap in the face in a way. But to young me, I was like, oh, that cheating son of a bitch. Yeah, true. I want to see what happens next. I want to see him get his comeuppance. Sometimes I wish I could watch wrestling like I did when I was a teenager again. There is part of me that kind of wishes like I hadn't sport it in a way. But still, anyway, so how did you go from watching Royal Rumble 99 to kind of saying, let's go training, let's
Like, did you discover the training first, or did you discover the shows and then you kind of discovered the training through the shows?
The training. I lived in a very WWF/WWE bubble for a very long time.
Yeah,
so
some
to
people
me,
still do. I mean, I kind of still do, actually. Yeah.
I was unaware that there was an actual British wrestling scene at all.
What was it that tipped you off?
TNA.
Boot camp.
Yes.
Same. Yeah. So Rockstar spied Mighty Skull and the Blossom Twins, and all of a sudden I was like, oh, okay. So, and literally that was the point that I started thinking, that I found out, because I think I followed Spud on Facebook, saw that he was at shows, and then I saw other names, and I was like, holy shit, there's
actually shows that happen.
And then I found about the one in Milton Keynes. I was like, holy fuck, it's been on my doorstep.
Exactly. So I was googling schools here, there, and everywhere, and there was one in Wolverton, Milton Keynes. I was like, oh, that's only like a 10-minute drive.
Yeah.
So I went there, learned the basics, and just ran.
Did you learn a lot of tech?
A lot of To me though, as weird as it sounds, it's like a formula.
Yeah.
The way it was broken down to me, it's you enter this hold, and from this hold you can go in any 6 directions.
Yeah.
And then depending on which direction you choose, you can then go in another 6 or 7 directions.
Yeah.
And that's the way I see it.
Quite a scientific way of doing it.
That's how I still see it now.
I suppose if you've done your law background, you kind of know that if you do this, you can then do this.
Yeah.
And if in order to get to C, you have to first go through B and A
exactly
first. So, okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I've never actually thought of it like that. But this is the one thing I've always tried to avoid, is learning the actual technical part of wrestling and how to put matches together, because I never want to watch a match and go, footwork, or that bit. I always like to be surprised. So although I think I know what's coming, and I probably have an idea, I just don't know the words to use those to put to them. But that's the one side I'm always avoiding. But yeah, that does kind of make sense as to, I guess as well, it's like combos on video games as well.
Yes.
It's like if you want to do this, you have to do X, Y, up, down.
If you want to do the joggle, you need to launch them first. That's sort of stuff.
Yeah. Okay, that's cool. And how long was it before you were on your first show? And can you remember that kind of that journey you went on?
It happened really quickly.
Okay.
I think around 2 or 3 months.
Wow.
Really quickly.
And was that because you were ready in 2 or 3 months, or was that because...
I don't know. The person I spoke to said they thought I was ready.
Okay.
I didn't feel ready.
Does anybody though?
Exactly. Yeah, I didn't feel ready. So I did a few rumbles. Then I had a small little one-on-one.
Who was the first one-on-one match that you had?
Cruz. Damon Cruz.
Oh, was he quite a big? Another big like?
He's not actually. He's 5. I want to say 5.
It was just CRUZ. Oh no, KRUZ was his name, wasn't it?
KRUIZ.
Yeah. I've seen him on a poster, because I think there was at one point a few people from TAW almost defected, and I can't remember what it was called. They did Wolverton Top Club. I'm trying to think what they're called.
Was it a Cruise Coalition by any chance?
There was a few people that kind of they were big, and then they were fucked off with TAW, so they went and did their own thing. It was people like Rich and Famous. Cruz was a really 7 foot tall lumberjacky guy as well. And what was his name? The cage match with Bradley Ford at TAW was real loud.
I remember that. Colt Kelly.
So he was another person that went off, and he sounds like, I think he was a guy that went off. I want to say it's some South Midlands or South Midlands.
Yeah, I
SMW. I think it was. Yeah. So there was a few people that left. Yeah. Pretty sure Cruz was one of them that kind of left just before I got involved. How was that first one-on-one match? How much can you remember of it?
I remember not knowing what to do.
Okay. Actually, is it like to still be? Is it like? Did it ever make it to YouTube?
I don't think it was recorded. But I remember we were talking. I just remember being in the ring, and I was like, I don't actually know what I'm meant to be doing at this point. What should I do? What do I do with my hands and my feet? Do I stand up? What do I do? And I learned more in the conversations I had backstage afterwards than I had in the months training physically.
Yeah, as in from the feedback, or
yes, just the way you think about things and why you do things, the reason behind why you would stand up or why you wouldn't, or why you would do a move there, or just the logic behind it.
Yeah,
because a lot of us, when we were younger, for example, one person I really liked was Dean Malenko.
Nice.
I couldn't tell you why I liked Dean Malenko as a kid, because he was meant to be boring and uncharismatic and stuff. But the reason I liked him was because he was a good wrestler. I didn't know he was a good wrestler at that point. I didn't know what good wrestling was, but you know good wrestling without knowing.
Yeah. You can kind of tell the people that know what they're doing and have it. They get it. There's some people. I think there was a quote somewhere saying some people are playing professional wrestlers.
Yeah.
And some people are professional wrestlers. And I think it was based on Kevin. Like Kevin Owens is a professional wrestler,
he is 100%.
whereas Roman Reigns is playing the role of a professional wrestler. Like some people just get it, some people take a bit more time. Yeah.
Just Dean Malenko, Lance Storm, William Regal, Eddie Guerrero, guys who were just amazing technically.
So that sounds like the Channel 5 WCW guys that stood out rather than because for me it was Tank Abbott.
Really?
For some reason. Now, this is the thing. Nobody says that he's their favourite wrestler.
Abbott.
But for me, the way he looked, and it was his knockout punch.
Yeah.
As a however old kid I was, 12, 13, 14-year-old kid, seeing him just walk up to people with a glove and just smash
Lay him out.
One knockout punch, I was like, holy fuck, he's special.
He is for real.
Because like you see the likes of Billy Kidman and Rey Mysterio throw punches, and that's just a little throwaway thing. This guy walks in, knockout, and that's it. And I was like, wow, this guy. And for some reason, he stands out in my mind as someone that I remember from being young. Like, if I went back and watched it now, no, he would be dog shit. I reckon. Yeah. I almost don't want to see his matches anymore in case it ruins my childhood.
But you got the DVD and you got to put it in. Not tonight.
Not ready for it. Not ready for it. But like, I love the names that kind of stand out from people's childhoods because no one ever says who's your favourite wrestler. No one will ever say, what's the best match you've ever seen? No one would put, Dean Malenko matches in there.
Dean Malenko's great.
Even though he's brilliant, but like it's always the same stuff, like the Hell in the Cell with Mick Foley and Undertaker, or this match from WrestleMania, or that match from SummerSlam. Like there's like a certain kind of almost like a short list of 25 matches that tend to be everyone's favourites. But it's those kind of the first impressions I absolutely love. Kind of getting out of people. And you say you had a few Rumbles as well. What was it like? Because to me, do you think Rumbles count as debuts? Because I always say they don't.
I don't feel they do. I don't feel they do.
You go in there, you're just in there to make up the numbers, really.
Yeah, pretty much. I went in there and it was just literally get used to being out in a ring in front of people.
Which is, I mean, it's a useful thing.
No, definitely.
You're never going to learn an awful lot. Yeah. So you had your teeth knocked out. How you say was it 2.5 years? You said that you took off.
Yeah,
that's such a long time, man.
It happened in January. I was due to have the surgery in April. Yeah. So literally 3 and a bit months before I was due to have surgery, and it would have been off in that same.
And actually, so that April show would have been. So when you say April, it would have been that month that I did my first commentate for the first time ever.
I still would have been there,
and you would have been there probably in the ring. And I can still remember my first match that we called. It was Steve Ace Andrews and I want to say Honest Rob.
Yeah, Honest Rob Matthews.
Honest Rob, like
lovely guy.
Never saw him after that first match, but like. Yeah, Honest Rob, what a name.
He was great as well.
I'm sure he was.
He was. It's a shame he didn't continue, actually.
Trying to think if that was the first match we called or if that was the first match I saw. But either way, that doesn't matter. So 2.5 years goes by. That must have been torture.
I stopped watching wrestling because I literally could not handle watching it and not being able to do it.
Man, that sucks.
That's why I stopped coming to shows and everything else. I just didn't want to be around it. I didn't want to watch it or pay attention to it at all.
So when you had that surgery and you were cleared and the braces were off, when you got straight with, did you watch anything up until that point? Did you know it was coming and did you kind of build up to it, or was it like?
I watched Mania and the Rumble. I watched 4 wrestling shows in that time, and it was Royal Rumble and Mania.
The big ones.
Yeah, that's it. That's what I watched.
Yeah, and what was it like heading back into training after that? After 2.5 years, like.
Genuinely scary.
I'm guessing the faces would have changed a lot, and was that after the the incident?
It was after all of that happened.
Yes, yeah.
And when I walked through the door, the first person I saw was Steve Ace Andrews.
Oh, okay.
And initially, because I'd gotten a lot bigger, he didn't recognize me.
Okay.
I was like, oh wait, it's you.
Yeah. So like when you say bigger, you kind of like you've been to the gym.
Yeah, I went Batman. In terms of I kid you not, I had this conversation with Owen Charles. I don't like the guy, Owen Charles. I'll slap him in the teeth if I can.
His mate Charlie's alright.
Yeah, the other guy is cool.
Yeah, but
Owen Charles, I'm not a fan of.
Get in the bin, yeah.
But I had a conversation with him in terms of like my training and stuff, and he was like, "So, what made you like? What got you into it?" I was like, "I've read Batman Year Zero." And
so what's the story? Because I'm not a big DC guy. I don't really read comics, to be fair.
So Batman Year Zero. So it's like a prequel to the fantastic Year One by Frank Miller. It's essentially a 25-year-old Bruce Wayne literally becoming Batman in Year Zero. So this is his first 12 months on the job.
Oh, okay.
A lot of ridiculous stuff happens in Gotham to the point where it becomes nearly a ghost town. And there's an image of Batman on a dirt bike with no real body armor except for the chest piece with the bat on it and the cowl, and he's wearing these gloves and stuff. And I looked at it and I was like, what a fucking badass.
Yeah.
What a cool dude. And his ingenuity and how he was able to just keep going without all the resources, I've just found it really inspiring. So I was like, I can't actually wrestle, but that doesn't mean I can't go to the gym and do stuff.
Kind of almost prepare to
That's
be.
it.
You're kind of preparing to be Batman rather than being Batman.
Exactly. So I went to the gym 3-4 times a week for a good 12 months. As soon as I got the surgery day, I was like, okay, well, I'm going to start eating and lifting and so. So I eventually got into shape, walked through the door. Oh, it's Ace Andrews, gave me a big hug. I saw Lee Hustle Malone, who when I left was a cameraman.
Yeah, same. Yeah, that's how I met him.
When I left, he was a cameraman. I came back and he was a top dog. I was like, oh,
okay. This has happened.
Chase Williams was a ref.
Yeah.
When I left, come back. Oh, this guy.
I still remember. I had no idea that he was a wrestler. I think the first time I saw him wrestle was Jury's In, and he was brought in as, I want to say, is it Danny Mayhem's tag partner? Oh no, I'm thinking. Oh, see, I'm getting mixed up. He was brought in as someone's tag partner.
Okay.
And he was like the reluctant ref that didn't want to be in there. As soon as he tagged in, I think he hit the John Cena kind of top rope leg drop to the back of the head thing. I was like, holy shit! Where
this
did
ref can go?
Yeah, where did this guy come from? I knew Christian as a ref, but geez, like he's flying around like a It's almost like I had my downtime, and then I came back when Hope South was kind of kicking off and rolling, and all of a sudden I'm seeing I'm seeing Hustle in the ring. I'm seeing Danny back on the wagon again. Christian then comes out and he's doing all this stuff, and I'm like, man, these guys just have like all the bad shit happened. I buried my head in the sand. Yeah, where so many people seem to have kept on pushing. I thought that was quite inspiring. And I say you then came out of nowhere. For me at least. Yeah. And in fact, Harvey Dell was the first guy that I was aware of was like saying this guy's got a very big future in Hope.
Oh wow.
You literally. I remember it was when you were doing the Undefeated thing, and it was you versus I want to say PMC.
Yeah.
And I think you kind of steamrolled through him, and Harvey literally back then was like, this guy has got a big future.
That's awesome.
Literally, back from day one when I was and that was probably my first show that I called with him, and that was an interesting experience because I'd never met him before that.
Oh, really?
He was very intense on the headsets. But even back then I remember him saying that you had a bright future. Obviously, flash forward a year and a half, and it's happening right now. He wasn't lying. He wasn't lying. So what was it like as far as your first matches back? Like, were you wary of like your kind of your jaw and your like getting kicked in the face again, or was that kind of all done and dusted by that point?
Was not, surprisingly.
Because obviously by that point, was there any fear that did you have like the strength there and stuff? Was it stable, or was it?
Yeah, everything was fine. Sort of there's metal and fake bone from, I think it's like a reef. It's coral, I think they call it.
Okay.
So my jaw is harder than it was before, so I don't think it can get
broken. Still. Man, so, why didn't you I could have used that on commentary all these years, man.
Start biting people.
Nice. There is literally no glass jaw here. It is literally solid steel.
They've put stuff in it to make it more solid than it was previously.
That's crazy.
There's no fear of anything happening to it.
And I guess wrestling without fear kind of, I don't know, it was almost like you're a bit more freer to do stuff, because the reason why one of the reasons why I've never never tried was that I'm one of these people that chicken out. Like if I've got to do a long jump, like if I'm jumping between two buildings, I'm the person that hesitates right at the edge and then slips off the end. I chicken out when I was a snowboarder. I was trying to do jumps and I'd bail at the last minute and hurt myself instead. Like I just get the feeling I'd be in there, and when you need to just go 100%, I would, and then I'd hurt people and I'd hurt myself. So I just know I'm not the guy. But so does that give you confidence then when you kind of came back in?
Yeah, it did. In terms of my ability to sort of take punishment or fear of getting hurt, I used to do mixed martial arts.
Okay.
So I was
cool.
Not like professionally or anything, but it was like, I'll like do 2 classes a week for a couple of years.
But I mean, you learn stuff, don't you? Like, you learn how to control your body, I guess.
So conditioning and getting used to being hit and so on, it means that you're not really afraid of it.
Yeah.
So there's a foot or a fist coming towards me. It's like, it's not going to kill me.
Yeah. So, you're ready for it.
That's it. Yeah. Probably how I got kicked in the teeth. I was like, it's fine.
Yeah.
I've been kicked tons of times.
Keep my face right here. It'll be cool.
I'll stop his foot with my jaw. It'll be great.
You would know.
That'll learn him. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
So yeah, who was your first match back?
My first match back was DOA.
Was it?
Yes, it
was.
was.
Oh shit! Because that was obviously way before I kind of got involved in DOA.
It was in Bedford Esquires in an over 18 crowd. So I've never worked DOA.
The DOA?
Yeah.
DOA did Bedford?
No. The wrestler DOA.
Oh shit! Sorry.
Yeah. No,
I remember now.
It was for Hope in Bedford Esquires Club. Never did it over 18s crowd before. 2.5 years off.
Was that the? Oh no, it was before the Harambe show. Must have been before Harambe
potentially
kicks out. That could have been the first one because I think I was aware of it and I didn't go, if I remember rightly. But man, so yeah, I mean, I've forgotten his real name, but yeah, he was
Leo.
He was always a safe guy, wasn't he?
He's great.
Yeah. I miss him actually. He's been.
I do.
Where did he go?
I think he's just focusing on work now, because he's got a career outside of wrestling that's very demanding.
And am I right in thinking it was that career that meant he had to wear the mask?
Yes.
Yeah. Cryptic clues.
But I do miss his presence. He's a lovely guy.
I remember after my first commentary show, I was walking through the car park at the Wolfton Centre, and a guy was like, "Oh, cheers for tonight, guys. See you later." And I would turn to Kai Brown, and I was like, "Who the hell was that?" He was like, "I have no idea." And it turns out that was DOA. Obviously, without the mask, and because we don't hang out backstage, I didn't have a clue who he was. I was like, "Cool, man. No worries. Who the fuck are you?" And it turns out he was DOA.
Yeah.
Cool. How? And so you say there was no fear going back into that?
No, he looked after me because he knew it had been a while. Yeah. So there was a moment where I nearly got lost in terms of what was happening, and he immediately took over and slowed everything down, and we recovered and went back to what we were meant to be doing. He looked after me. That was my first sort of major blip that I'd had. I don't remember what I'm supposed to be doing. Ever since I'd become semi-competent from training after the return and stuff. I've been training for a few months actually before I then got back on the shows. That was the first sort of major blip of what am I doing?
Yeah.
They do happen from time to time. There was the infamous Ryan Smile match.
What was? When you say infamous, and I don't know about it, you kind of have to tell the story.
Oh, the infamous Ryan Smile match.
So was it you and Ryan Smile one-on-one? Or?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I had the flu. I really should have pulled out, but being selfish and getting a chance to wrestle Ryan Smile, I didn't want to.
Yeah. I mean,
so I should have pulled out, and I didn't. Ryan got to the venue. Our match, I think, was the open of the second half, and he got to the venue whilst the last match of the first half was
this
going
on. The one that Pete Dunne was booked for as well?
No, it wasn't.
Ryan Smile was booked for a few, I think. But yeah, he had I think he did keep turning up.
Yeah.
At the last minute,
So that did happen.
I mean, no chance to plan, right?
No. Yeah. And at the level I was at then, I didn't. As weird as it sounds, I didn't have a moveset.
Yeah.
And he was, and what I say was, he is still on a higher level than most of the people in the UK anyway.
Is he still wrestling?
I remember he was complaining about injuries with his back to the point where he was saying, I'm getting tingling in my fingers and things like that. So
I haven't seen him on any posters recently.
So I think he's taken some time away.
Which is fair enough. Just like Harvey, if you've got to do it, you've got to do it.
Exactly,
So you're in this match.
So we're playing the match. It's cool. Okay, cool. I go out there, do my little entrance. His music hits. And I was being accompanied by my tag partner, Kent Nelson, at the time. And I turn to him and I go, I have forgotten literally everything that we have spoken about. And he goes, oh, don't worry, I'll tell you. I was like, no, I've forgotten it all. I don't remember anything. Ryan gets in there and we do a little square off. And as we're doing a square off, I say to him, I don't remember a thing. And he went, okay. And backed off. And then we did the match. And by did, I mean, I was being remote controlled by Ryan Smile as the match was going on. So I do this, do that, do this. Okay. Then the match ends. Go backstage, we sit down, and he lets out this sigh, and he goes, it happens. And the thing is, Ryan has this rep of being a bit of a loudmouth. He's not one to sugarcoat things.
Nope.
The fact that we were in a room, the fact that we were sat there, and he could have torn me a new one, and rightfully so, because not only did I mess up my stuff, I messed up some of his stuff, and it affected how good he looked. Him being as great as he is, he still looked okay, but I didn't do him any favours.
I'm with you.
He could have torn me a new one, and he just sighed and he went, it happens. It happens. And he told me his experience of when he faced the Elite with the Young Bucks and Omega. And he had that moment of he got out there and went, I have no idea what I'm supposed to be doing. And he said, it happens to everybody. it's okay.
Because I guess for you at that point, you were very much in the same mindset of him going into the Young Bucks match. Because for you, Ryan Smile's a big deal at this point.
He is,
for Ryan Smile, the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega, that's like, it's a spotlight, I guess, isn't it? Like, the pressure's on. Has it happened since? Like,
No.
has there been any?
Never. That was the only time, thankfully, anything like that's ever happened.
And but have you been in any other matches where you kind of thought, man, this is a big deal? Like, have you had any kind of... Because obviously you've had like Rene Dupree. You've actually been given some quite good matches, actually. Come to think of it, you are getting some good shit in it.
After that experience, I figured that's probably the worst it could get, and so far I've been right.
No, that's good. Let's have a look. So you faced Rene Dupree.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, I've called one of his matches over in Wales. I don't know anything about him as a wrestler. Like, I know he's been in the WWE, but that was in a big window that I missed. So I'm like calling his stuff. I'm like, I don't really know much about this guy.
I was watching him in the WWE. It was really surreal to have this man that you've watched on TV as a teenager standing in the same ring as you.
I've had situations like that where people I've seen on TV have been there, but with him, I was like, The only story I know about him is that apparently he fucked a Mrs. Wife before they got married. That's the only thing I know, and that's from him himself.
Oh right, so, okay. I didn't know.
That's his claim to fame, apparently. But so how was that kind of being?
He was great.
Yeah.
I can't say enough kind words about him because someone who's been at that level as a teenager himself.
Yeah.
I think he was only 18 when he won the belt. 18 or 19 years old when he won the tag championship.
Oh, okay.
Had a feud with Cena where he was controlling Cena as the heel, obviously.
Yeah.
So he was given a lot of responsibility at a young age, and he's been wrestling ever since in Canada and Japan and so on. So again, he's a guy that I was nervous because I didn't want to kind of crap the bed with this. But at no point was I ever worried that I'm going to forget anything. I'm going to forget, because one thing that a lot of wrestlers sometimes do is they forget that they can talk to one another.
So you can communicate out there.
Exactly. So if you ever do get lost, take a guy to a corner and as you're hitting, go, what's next? Okay, cool. And then you bring it back. So with Rene, I think that only had to happen once. Where there was a period of control for myself, and I was just kind of telling him what to do. And I was like, I'm telling Rene Dupree to sit up. This is great. I'm the man. And then I ran out of ideas, and I was like, do you want to take over? And he went, I was like, okay, cool, let's go. Let's switch it around.
And I guess this is the thing, like, I've seen a lot of people kind of get in there and not know what to do, and like you almost forget what you've been taught how to do. So I know how to do a strike, I know how to do a drop kick, and then once you've done that 5 times, oh man, what do I? And this is why I always think like you need that time and training before you hit the first match, because you can't you struggle to go in there and just just do a match with just tech and a drop kick. You need, like you said, a moveset, and I'm starting to, from a commentary perspective, I see that you've got your moves that are coming in, and the spots that you see in every match, and I think, like, you take the piss out of people like Cena and his 5 moves of doom, but
there's a reason for it.
You need that go-to. You look at any top wrestler, they've probably got those 5 moves of doom.
Every single one of them does.
You just don't notice them because there hasn't had the focus put on it, I guess. But so what are your 5 moves? Have you got your 5 moves?
My 5 moves. I've got the spear as the finish. I have my variations on the Inzaguri. I've got my little bicycle knee. Got my backbreakers, which I don't do too often, but and then I've got my little stolen, shout out to Tamatonga, the ghost neck breaker.
Which one's that?
That is one where someone will hit the ropes and I will follow them in.
I call that the misdirect. So they kind of turn around, you're not there, and all of a sudden, pow, and
that's
So that's I can't think of any more of your main things.
It's one of those ones where I can do a lot, but there's no reason to. If that makes sense. I think you find a lot of wrestlers, they can do 100 different moves, but there's a reason they don't. Like for example, it's like in theory I could probably do a backflip, but why would I bother when Will Ospreay exists? Like, what's the point?
I don't know, man. That would still be pretty impressive.
It would be impressive, but there's no. If I come out through the curtain, I don't think anyone's going, hey, look at this large Nigerian male, I can't wait to see him do a backflip. Like, no one wants to see me do a backflip because I'm large. There's no need for me.
In a way, it's kind of like Mark Lloyd, the banker. I was having a chat with him, and like his the things he can physically do versus what he does in the banker role.
Yes,
it's so
he's so athletic,
but he has to limit it because of the banker role.
Of course, yeah.
I can't wait for him to either change characters
and
or
let loose.
Yeah, because I just want to see it happen.
It's incredible, as you said, the things he can do.
Yeah,
and you see bits of it just from how he moves in the ring. You can tell he's athletic. And he can do more, but as you said, he's limited.
He's definitely holding it back, which is crazy. But like you say, it makes sense, I guess. It's not all about getting your shit in. It's about characters.
That's it.
You mentioned your tag team partner, Kent Nelson.
Yeah, my boy.
How long have you guys known each other? Do you go back?
No,
he's another guy that's been training forever.
He has, yeah.
But again, another guy that I only really learned of, in my second run, as it were.
Yeah.
So how did you guys kind of end up teaming up?
I had my second session, so we trained on a Wednesday and we trained on a Saturday. Saturday morning was where I met Kent. We paired up, and as a joke, he went, "You're probably going to make us tag at some point." And I went, "Yeah, probably." And then
why would you have said that? Like
because we were both similar in stature, similar in mentality and how we sort of view things in wrestling, but at the same time, there's enough of a contrast between us in terms of personality and look that it would make a good pair.
It was just going to happen.
Yeah, and he said it as a joke.
Didn't fight it.
And a year later, it happened, and it was like, "I told you, I told you." I was like, "Look, man, I'm not complaining. Like, we get along incredibly well." And I haven't tagged with many people, but I was saying this to other people because a little bit of British Cinematic Universe wrestling, or Wrestling Cinematic Universe, I currently hold the Wrestling Institute of Northampton Tag Team Championship with Morgan Black.
Okay. And doesn't Kent currently hold the other tag team belts with Anthony Mafia? So
exactly.
So you got the Black Mafia, and you got the Unbreakables. Like,
there's a weird switch. There's a wipe swap situation
was it just
going on.
keys in a bowl and picks them out?
That's exactly it. It was a wipe swap situation. We've agreed to an exchange. And me and Sim have only wrestled twice together. Me and Morgan Black, sorry, we've only wrestled twice together, and it's gone okay. But with Kent, we don't need to communicate anymore. So we were sitting.
You just know.
I know where he is at all times, and vice versa. There's none of this weird, awkward shuffling to get into position. I just know where he is, so he knows where I am,
cool.
and it's great. But yeah, that's how we met. It was a Saturday morning session, second session, and ended up becoming friends, and here we are, just having fun as a tag team.
He called it. So you recently had a match with him. Was it weird to be? Because I never know, because obviously from a personal perspective, it must be cool to go in there with someone that you know and you trust.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, in a storyline, it's always tricky because you have to sell the emotions. And was that a challenge for you? Like,
it was a challenge for me in terms of I didn't know how people would react, and it was a challenge in the sense that I didn't know what I really wanted to do. Because out of the two of us, Kent is the grumpy old man. He is the grumpy old man.
Which is weird because he's like 16, right?
That's what I mean. He's only just been able to buy booze. But he's the grumpy old man and I'm the happy one. But then in terms of character, he's a bit more of... He talks a lot more than I do. And I'm meant to be more of the angry, quiet one. So it's a bit weird to have the roles reversed. But one thing Kent loves doing is beating me up. There was a 10-man shenanigan thingy on Sacrifice when we were on opposite teams. And he was pushing people out the way to get to me. There was no hesitation. He just loves it.
I think I think it's foreshadowing something in the future. It's going to come to a head at some point. But
he just loves beating me up. I'm like, oh no, it's Ken. I'm not going to chop him. He's like, nah, get out of the way. Hold me a piece of that. I'm like, dude, relax. But that match was okay. I wasn't happy with how I performed in it.
In what way?
I wasn't fully there. That makes sense. I wasn't fully switched on, and it meant that I didn't really wrestle properly.
I think from watching it, I think almost you not being all there, like you're not focused and concentrating and being fully present in the match. In a way, it kind of helped, I think, because I think I could tell you were a little bit... At the time, obviously, I had no idea what was happening, but I think I kind of said, like, you can see the hesitation behind Warren's eyes. So, in a way, I guess, situation-wise, it worked. But I think for... Like you say, you're like the kind of the quiet guy who just walks in, beats people up, and goes home. So I think you definitely sold a lot of emotion in it for me. Like enough for me to at least grasp onto and kind of talk about. I haven't actually watched that show back yet because
I need to. I know you put the footage up. I need to watch.
So fun story. The night before that show, we were in Yarmouth.
We were.
And I made the rookie. Yeah, because in fact, you actually said to me at one point. So we were sitting in McDonald's at like fucking 5:30 midnight. You're like, Ollie, man, it's still a 3-hour drive. We should probably head back. And the words that I uttered, looking back, I've never regretted anything more in my life. Saying, at this point, it's going to be late enough. We might as well just stay here and chill for another hour. Leaving McDonald's at was it 1:30?
Yeah.
In Yarmouth. We hadn't even started the journey.
We weren't even far.
We weren't even halfway home. We still had the entire 3-hour trip to do in the snow. And then that day I was all asleep. I was my body doesn't let me sleep in. If I get in at 4 a.m, I'm still going to wake up at 8 a.m. regardless. So it's almost a case of when I fall asleep, that's like the time before 8 o'clock. That was such a big mistake, and I was I definitely wasn't there that day. But I think Teach covered for me, which is cool. You've got your match with Kip and
Chris
Tyler. That is, to me right now, that's almost like another Ryan Smart situation, because these are two guys who are not Ryan. So Kip he's got to be close to being WWE's radar.
Yeah. Chris
Tyler's on the radar.
Yeah, he's worked for that.
I'd say that's going to be a pretty fun match, right?
Yeah, it'll be a challenge. I think because. Fun fact, Chris Tyler was in my 3rd ever match that I ever had.
Okay, it's in Rumble?
No, match.
Match. Okay.
Yeah, I had a multi-man match in TAW and Chris Tyler was in it.
Cool.
And I worked with him once or twice after that. And then I disappeared for a few years. So I wrestled him again yesterday, and feeling the pace that he works at and everything else, I was like, I need time. I need to Batman again. I need that prep time,
Because you were saying the other week that you don't really do the gym much these days.
No, I hate it.
You've got almost like you've got wrestling now, so you don't need to do it. Maybe
that's it. Yeah, I was trying to build size because look is very important in what we do, as everyone knows. But now looking at the landscape, performance is much more important than look.
Yeah.
You either go extreme in one way or the other.
Yeah.
Some people can do both. For example, I know people may not like it, but Roman Reigns looks like a superhero and can wrestle for 30 minutes if you need him to.
To be honest, Roman Reigns, for me, he can wrestle, don't get me wrong. He's I don't think he's had a bad match in a while. As far as pay-per-view, I don't watch Raw or SmackDown. It's not on the network. I don't have Sky Sports. But as far as pay-per-views goes, he doesn't really do bad matches.
Yeah.
For me, it's the way he's been. I know it's a very easy cop out, but it's the way I just don't believe what he does at the moment. His character. I think recently his promos I've seen, I'm starting to believe.
Yeah.
But for a while, it was almost like he kept getting beaten down by his boss and just smiling about it on Monday and then going, "Hey, well, I got screwed out."
Stuff happens, man.
This is it.
That's how a person would react to that.
Whereas I think I remember there was one time where he just beat the shit out of Triple H with a chair.
That was one of my favorite moments.
This is it, and it's all of a sudden shit. He's showing actual personality. Yeah. He's being he's
angry.
Yeah, we're not just being told he's a badass. He's being a badass.
Yeah, show don't tell, right?
Yeah. And then he kind of went off again. But his match, I still put down that WrestleMania 31 is the best show ever.
It was a fantastic show.
From top to bottom as well. Yeah. But his match with Brock, even before the cash-in, was absolutely insane.
Just beat the hell out of each
This
other.
is it.
Yeah.
And I think, personally for me, that was Brock beating some respect into him. And I think he earned my respect by the fact that he was taking the shit kicking. His jaw was busted open.
He was bleeding from the nose and the mouth.
Yeah, and I was like, holy fuck. But he was still going. And he was like, bring it on. I was like, you know what? Actually, this guy's not bad.
Some guys maybe go, you know what? Let's call the hope. Let's call the comeback. I need a breather. He was like, no, keep hitting me.
He's
let's
like,
keep going.
Just fucking have it. Because I think he knows that moments like that will win him respect from the people that don't like him.
And so the fact that a lot of people, it happened years ago, but we still talk about it as one of his best matches. The AJ Styles stuff notwithstanding, probably one of his best matches ever done. Yeah,
true. It's up there. It's up there. But I don't think AJ's ever going to beat the piss out of him for him to. But Brock will. In a way, I'm kind of looking forward to the match at Mania this year.
Oh, it's going to be so good.
I hope that it just literally just brutality from start to finish.
I want it to be a slightly longer version of the Goldberg Brock.
Yeah. See, Goldberg Brock was
so good.
The Mania match.
Yeah.
I put that in my top 10 of the year.
It was fantastic.
It wasn't a technical masterclass. No. There wasn't high spots. It didn't go long. but it was perfect.
It was
like
perfect.
You watch it. There's nothing you could think. Oh man, I wish they'd done this. I wish they'd like. It was perfect for what it was.
No one said, I wish he worked that whole... No, spear him, jack him, suplex him, just beat each other up.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it needed to be.
Yeah, and it worked, for me, the first match they had was at Survivor Series that lasted like a minute and 40. That match would have been brilliant. My only problem was I was watching it the next day, and I had to get to work, and I was live podding with my mate Scott. And we were like, right, we've got 5 minutes left in the broadcast, so I've got 5 minutes, and I've got a 20-minute drive to work. I'm going to be there just in time. So, and I'm thinking to myself, hang on, there's 5 minutes left in the broadcast, but Goldberg hasn't had his entrance yet.
Oh no.
This is it. And that's when it kind of struck me of like, oh fuck, they're going 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, I kind of wish I hadn't known that, because then that would have been a much bigger part.
I liked it because of the, obviously Heyman got it over, I think maybe a week or so after, but the story he told of Brock turned his back on him.
Yeah.
And that was the end, because he did, and then he got beaten up because of it.
I mean, story-wise, it was perfect. Again, like, you might not like it, but...
Even in the ring, like, I don't have a pose, I don't really have much of a gimmick, but if I hop on the turnbuckle and I raise my hand, I'm still looking over my shoulder, because if you turn your back on someone, they should kick your ass.
I noticed that, and when that's hard for me to cover up on commentary at times, because... 9 times out of 10, the heel should just
beat him up, man.
Just jumping from behind, So, Logics is a big thing. It's a really big thing. So what's next for Warren Banks? I know you said you got the win, tag team belts under your belt, as it were. You sacrifice. You're going to be there at the anniversary show. Yeah. DOA, things are starting to look up for you.
I mean, DOA,
the company DOA, not the not Leo.
DOA, I've had 3 matches and enjoyed them all greatly.
So that was your first one was with Draven.
Yes, yeah.
But that was. I spoke to you. I think that was good, but there was room for improvement.
There was, yeah.
Then you had your match with Damien.
Yeah.
Damien. Which I for you that was. I could tell you had fun in that.
That's exactly what I was going to use. We were having a blast. It was great.
I think with Damien, everyone, I think, because he's at a point in his career where he's not looking to elevate himself as anything. He is just there to have fun now. And like he had the match with the Bromantics.
Yes.
I've never seen so
much personality, right?
From everybody in that match.
Yeah.
Like Jai and Charlie were just. They'd turn up to 11.
Yeah.
And I was like, holy shit. And they were just having fun.
I don't think I've ever seen them as animated as they were.
It was crazy, right? It was literally like they were just on crack. And you had your match with... What was it? He said he had a whole bag of Skittles and 5 Red Bulls. And then you had your match with Charlie Winston as well. And he's another guy that's potentially...
Very, very good at what he does.
Going places, yeah. So I'm noticing a trend, apart from Draven. You kind of get put in a lot of big man matches.
Yeah.
Is that frustrating for you, or do you sometimes just want to work?
Fun fact, I intentionally lost weight so it would stop happening.
Okay.
I genuinely did. I started going to the gym because of wrestling training and so on, but I was still eating a lot and everything else. And I intentionally decided to lose weight to see whether or not people would stop doing it. As harsh as it sounds.
No, but like almost like when Kent was like, we're probably going to be paired up. You probably walk in like, you see another big guy like, oh man, I'm going to be working him.
That's it,
you just kind of know. How was Draven though? Because Draven's obviously not a big man.
No, Draven was lovely.
I think he's going places.
He's great. I'm a huge fan of what he does. Huge fan of his work. Very calm, very generous in terms of he didn't have to give me stuff. He didn't have to. Yeah.
Because he was the champion.
Exactly. And it was his second match of the day.
Yeah.
And he still wanted to do what he needed to do, and I respect that massively. He had a lot of good feedback from me afterwards, gave me some pointers, and I think one thing that's really important is that he gave feedback to the promoter, and he said positive things.
Yeah.
Which I feel like it's important. I mean, everyone wants to get their mates booked in inverted commas, get their mates booked. I'm
very because I think I'm at a point now where Alec kind of starting to trust me. I don't want to say definitely trust me, but I am noticing now that he is starting to ask my opinion on a few things, and I'm saying like, this guy's actually really good. I think I should book this guy. And I don't want it to turn into just like, book my mates. But I'm like, so I'm kind of almost picking and choosing when I give him the feedback, because I want it to make sure it counts. I don't want it to be like, here's another one of my friends, but this guy. Like,
it means a great deal when someone who is at a place regularly, if you come in as an important outsider. I think
Ash is definitely that guy. So if he gives you a endorsement, then
that's it.
Yeah, you're going to be,
because there's people I've worked with who in certain Hope places who not necessarily an outsider, but they aren't at a level where, I don't know a brand name yet.
Yeah.
And I've had matches with them, and I've gone back and I've just been in the person's ear going, they're really good, you should bring them back. You're bringing them back. They're really good. You should bring them back. Bring them back. It goes from a suggestion to me sort of standing in front of his car going, you better bring them back, man. One guy I'll put over, Sam Kenny. Love him to pieces.
The first time there was that Sheffield show, was you and him, wasn't it? That
so
was
much fun.
But again, two big guys again, just you keep being put in the.
But it's a big guy who looks after you, and also wants to have fun. He just wants to enjoy himself. So we could chop each other until we bleed, or we could have a laugh and throw each other through a table and do some cool stuff.
Yeah, have a laugh, throw each other through a table.
It was fun.
It'll be a giggle.
It was a bubble. And the fact that I came backstage and I was like, I can wrestle again, is the sign that someone has looked after you. I've made a big point of saying he's very safe. He looked after me. I would work him every day if I could, because it doesn't hurt.
And you've had a second match with him since at Future 2.
Future 2. And it was the same thing again. I never had a powerbomb that didn't hurt, but when he did, I was like, I'm fine. He's just very good. And Chase Williams wrestled him in a tag match in a Hope show in Leicester. And the minute he got out, he messaged me on Facebook going, I immediately now know why you like him so much, because he's very safe and very good. And so those endorsements for guys like him who he hasn't gotten around as much, because he said he doesn't drive, for example, so he's not getting around as much as he could do.
It does. That's a big thing for people. If you can't, if you haven't got someone that's going to drive you regularly, then you need that.
But if you're saying how good this guy is to anyone who will listen, which is what we've been doing, they may go, we'll pay for you to get a National Express coach or something. You know,
we'll find a way.
That's it. Or there's some people coming from your area, we'll put them in touch with you. So I always feel like that's a big part, is if someone is good, don't go, they're really good. That's the reason a lot of the time you see people on Twitter talking about, this person's great, that person's great. It's not just because they're trying to elevate their friends. It's because, no, this person is good and you should know about it. And
I think a few weeks ago with Jackie Hyde, one thing he said is that he doesn't. There's a lot of people that only want to elevate themselves, but he's a guy that wants to elevate the scene around him. Like he wants to bring everybody up, because then everybody gets better. Like you say, so if you're telling people, spreading, pushing what you love and not bashing what you hate.
Exactly.
Go for the positives. And
if I have a match with someone and it's really, really bad, I'm not going to go, this person was terrible. It happened and that was it. Ryan Smart could have crucified me on Twitter. He could have dragged me through the streets on Twitter, and he didn't. And that means a lot. And I hope he comes back so I can wrestle him again.
Show him what you can do.
That's it. And in terms of the Twitter wrestling scene as well, that's important. If you're a wrestler, you have to have Twitter.
Yes. Speaking of which, your Twitter is
at @manlikebanks.
There you go. Are you anywhere else on the? Do you have Instagrams and Facebooks?
I do have everything: Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat. It's all at @manlikebanks.
Nice and easy, man.
So it's branding.
Yeah, and where are you at? So you're at Sacrifice Pro in. Are you at 11.5?
Yes, in Stewart Bay. It's March
25th. Yeah. Do you know your diary?
My diary.
Yeah.
Ooh, this guy.
Where can we find you?
This guy is putting me on the spot. I'm in the semi-finals of the Hope Future tournament.
Yeah, tomorrow's 23rd.
23rd, Friday the 23rd.
So I'll be in the car with you.
That's it. So you better be. Be awkward. Like, where's one lift?
Just driving like, fuck, we forgot Warren.
I feel like we forgot something. It's like the Kevin McAllister scene in Home Alone. And then the week after, who knows?
Cool. Well, get you on all the Twitters and that, and I'm sure you'll tell everybody. Warren Max, man, thanks for joining me, dude.
Thank you for having me.
Cheers, man.
Thank you.
Figure 4 Radio.
Ladies and gentlemen, Warren Banks, what a pleasure to have him on. And crazy to think that literally if it was, maybe 10, 20 days either side of him getting that mouth injury, mine and his story might be very different. We might have ended up growing up together in this scene, and he might not have had the time off, but it's crazy to think that we missed each other on my debut back in whatever year it was, 2014. by days. So that's a cool story that I like to tell, because it's really cool to kind of think that we were that close, and we passed like ships in the night. We didn't even realise. But yeah, a really good bloke. Hella intelligent. Hella into his like comic books and stuff. So he's an interesting guy. I get the feeling that me and him could have gone off topic, off piece, and spoken for another hour about everything. Comic book related wise, movie wise, we could have had a long chat, but we kept it wrestling for the sake of it for now. But looking forward to spending a car journey with Warren Banks this coming Friday for Hope Future. Usual stuff. If you don't already like us on Facebook, Twitter, on Instagram, it's Figure4 Radio on all counts. You can follow me, the Mastermind Ollie Spring, at F4R_Mastermind on Twitter and Instagram. We've got a website, figure4radio.weebly.com. We have the YouTube archives, youtube.com/F4TV. So do feel free to go on and check out all our archives. What have I missed? I'm not entirely sure. We've got the website. I think that's kind of it. We've got all the stuff. If you don't already subscribe and follow us on the old iTunes, on Stitcher, on Podomatic, do subscribe on there so you get to hear every time we have a new podcast coming out. Although you know by now it's Monday, therefore it's Figure 4 Radio Day. And if you are a wrestling promoter or a wrestler and you want me to commentate on your stuff, if you need the sounds over your graps, get in touch, because I can definitely help out. You can catch me at the likes of Hope Future, Sacrifice Pro, DOA Wrestling, Exposure Wrestling Entertainment. Again, where am I missing out? There's maybe a few others. Wrestling League and SOS. We'll be keeping. You never know. Maybe I might be making a return to RCWA or Pro Wrestling Clash as well. There's so many people that are working with me and my various commentary partners. It's a very cool place to be right now. I'm not going to lie. So keep your ears to the ground. If you see me at an event, come and say hi. But for now, I've been the Mastermind Ollie Spring, and we'll see you next week on Figure 4 Radio.